Jazz age living, whole fashion sipping, pizzazz ain't missing, got the
Mike, I'm curious, when you're sitting down watching sports with people and someone's, watching a game and the tide turns suddenly and someone starts, screaming, the fix is in, this is my dad on his $25 bet.
Fix is in.
This is rigged, home job,
let's get into this.
How do you feel about whether it's the NBA I feel like is the place where I feel this could
how do you feel
be the
about
most
overall
possible.
rigs?
Yeah.
And why is the NBA so rigged?
And why does the NFL
obvious?
hate Buffalo?
Honestly, dude, I hate to break it to you guys. It's overwhelming majority, if not 99% plus of the time, the fix is not in. But having said that, match fixing it is an ongoing problem on a global scale, and there are instances of it. But the majority, the overwhelming majority, are actually in tennis, especially smaller level tennis games.
Really?
Yeah,
We gotta get into
tennis.
No, but
You gotta start reading the dark web tennis blogs.
But the people that are more susceptible are those people in lower level tennis that are making peanuts, and they're approachable, and it's just they're a single person. It's and it's usually not even them dropping the game necessarily. Maybe it's dropping a set. But this stuff, the technology's in place to pick up on that, irregular line moves and stuff, and that's why legal betting's better, because you keep it all above board regulated, and you can monitor the betting patterns and everything. But it doesn't happen as much as you think, guys. It's like
when I say fixes in, I don't think of it like that, though. I don't think of some nefarious character going up to someone on the Lakers. I just think of, all right, they have meetings, right? Maybe mine's more complicated.
Who are they?
But you got to think. Okay, look, the refs are out there. You got LeBron and the Lakers in a Western championship, right? You got whoever the fuck, right? Let's just whatever other team, the Jazz. Perfect. There we go. You got LeBron versus the Jazz. Do you really think there's not more? And I'm not saying fix, like we will do this, but you don't think that that subconsciously they're like, well, we're going to give LeBron more calls because in the long run we kind of want him to be in the final. We don't want to watch Jokic, who looks like, your dad, doing like basketball moves. We want to watch LeBron launch from the free throw line. So I think it's more of like subconscious fixes in. It's like, oh, give him the call.
Yeah,
give him
bias,
the call.
right.
Whereas like Utah's not going to get nearly as many calls because they don't have the clout, and the NBA is very much of a star-driven league. We want to see LeBron versus KD. We don't want to see fucking Jokic versus whoever, I guess you could say the Miami Heat got there last year, so the fix is not in. But it's like the Miami Heat were a very interesting team.
Fun to watch.
I don't see and they got LeBron there, so it's like whoever he's playing doesn't matter. So
well, I mean,
I would just say it's more of like a thought of, okay, we want the stars in. We're going to call a little bit more. And if it just so happens that they win, then that benefits everybody, right? Well, it's not like, all right, 8 points is on the line.
Doggy, what do you got?
The Lakers versus Utah.
I was going to say, if the NBA was fixed, the Clippers wouldn't have lost to the Jazz in the playoffs last year because the NBA lost so much goddamn TV money, on the Clippers-Lakers matchup.
The fix...
That's a good point, though.
I haven't explained it correctly.
No, but so the subconscious bias thing,
I don't know. I want to look back at the stats of that game, but
no, for sure.
I would be willing to bet they got more calls. So look, you can lose with the fix in. You can still lose with the fix being in. But if you look at the data, I bet you the Clippers got more calls.
How much Viggy giving me on that bet? How much juice am I getting on that?
I'm just saying.
You can't just say I bet now.
First of all, let's quit acting like the NBA didn't already get caught for doing this.
Yeah, so the Tim Donaghy scandal, that was a thing, obviously, and it's a huge black eye in the NBA. But there are protections in place for this stuff, and you better believe there's other people out there monitoring it. There's integrity monitoring companies and stuff. But to your subconscious bias and even like just straight up psychological bias point, I think there's definitely something to that. I mean, you've always seen top players get calls over the years.
I wanted to hear.
It's just I think that's more to the referee bias and stuff more than anything else. And you always hear assholes and I'm not calling you guys assholes, but the people out there that are saying, but no, people that are
specifically Adam.
Good to be here with you, Adam.
Guys that lose their $25 bet, not calling your dad an asshole either. Who says that the fix is in and stuff. People are really just first of all, they're just thinking about their own bet and stuff, but they're also, they're thinking about it a certain way. It's just a psychological tendency to want to blame something and come up with a reason why you lost. And in reality, this stuff is so highly regulated, and especially the NBA after that black eye that they had.
Yeah.
The Donaghy thing was a real bad thing. And I don't without, going into further stuff on the NBA, it's, because there's been a history of accusations and stuff, but they've tried to clean up their act, especially with Adam Silver, the commissioner now. But no, I think there's something to that for sure, the subconscious bias. So,
but it works the other way too. It's not just like, oh, let's give LeBron a bunch of calls. Like, remember when Shaq was playing and he was such a giant monster that they wouldn't call stuff because they're like, oh, Shaq can take it. He's a monster.
He's Goliath.
It's like, oh, he can take a little bit of, a hack on the arm here or there.
For sure.
It works the other way too, where they're like, that guy's so dominant that we kind of don't want to call everything because you can't stop him.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we'd have to call it every single time.
He breaks the framework.
Yeah.
It doesn't work otherwise.
Could you imagine like today's refs in today's NBA with Will Chamberlain, but the same people he played with, the same people Will Chamberlain
or Shaq?
played with? You probably would.
Oh, no way.